Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be my review for the first season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. If you remember, I reviewed the first episode a while ago when it came out, which was March 6th. I reviewed it like March 7th, and ever since then I have been binging the show, and I finally finished it, and now I can review the full first season, which is awesome because I was hoping to review the full first season. If you guys are wondering why I didn't review it individually, is because the show wasn't a serial show till the last 3 episodes, so maybe next season I will. Also, guys, I want to tell you guys this. Netflix shows from now on, I will be reviewing 2 episodes a week. So Bloodline, I'll be reviewing 2 episodes a week. Daredevil's premiering this week. I'll be reviewing the first 2 episodes of that this week. It's more convenient. It's easier to do, and the shows are so addicting that, like, I have to do 2 episodes a week. So, just so you guys know, that's how it's going to be from now on. But let's get into the first season. Overall, how was the first season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? This was a fantastic first season. I mean, it was very funny, and it had some surprising reveals as well. I was very happy with what ended up happening this season. Definitely really enjoyed this season overall. So yeah, I really enjoyed this first season. I'm going to talk about what I really loved about this first season. So, we're gonna start off right where we left off in the pilot, and, one of the things that I definitely loved about the season were just the way that the show, was formatted. At first, it was a very, like, just regular comedy, but the thing that I really like is that Netflix used the fact that this was a Netflix series to its advantage, because the episodes were a lot longer than just 22 minutes, which was great because it added more screen time, it gave us more storylines, and I definitely really enjoy that. That's something I definitely appreciate about the show. For most of the season, it is Kimmy basically just discovering the world. A lot of it is just that. It's her discovering the world and discovering more of, like, what's going on in the world. And the second episode, we actually find out more about, Mrs. Voorhees, aka Jacqueline. And Jacqueline, Kimmy ends up basically getting a job there where she babysits her 2 kids, Xan and Buckley. The problem is that her daughter Xan is a brat. She's a complete brat. She's very bitchy as well. She hates Kimmy. She wants to do whatever she can to get Kimmy fired, and some of the funniest things in the season involve the interaction between Xan and Kimmy, because any time that Kimmy babysits Xan, she's doing whatever she can to get her fired. I mean, Xan, she's cutting class, she's smoking with her friends, she's locking Kimmy in closets, she's not really, she wants to do whatever she can to get Kimmy fired, and it's really funny to see, and I think Dylan, Guola did a really good job at Xan. She was really funny, and definitely I'd love to see, more of what she does next season. I hope they bring her back next season, because she definitely was very funny this season. And one of the things I really do like about her character, though, is that we eventually realize that she actually is a good person. She's getting very good grades in school, and she's actually a good girl, but she can't, and I really love that they did this, she can't show that to her friends. She can't show that she actually has this good girl persona, because her friends are doing bad things, and she doesn't want to, come across as a good girl when they're just, like, very rebellious, so she has to be that way. And I think she really does care for Kimmy. You see that she does care for Kimmy, but we'll see what happens in Season 2. I'm interested in seeing where they're going to go with Xan in Season 2, because the way they ended it with her in Season 1, I thought was really interesting. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen there. Kimmy also ends up having a lot with her love life as well. There are actually 3 guys at first. First of all, there's Charles, who is Buckley's tutor, Jacqueline's son's tutor, and the second that these 2 meet, you think he's going to be Kimmy's love interest, and they get really close, definitely. In fact, I really like their relationship together. I thought they were really cute together, but we eventually realize that he just wants to be friends. He doesn't think of Kimmy, because she ends up calling him, and it's actually really funny. She's calling him, he's supposed to be talking to his friend, just like one of his bros or whatever, and basically he ends up butt dialing Kimmy, and he tells her that he loves her when he's on another call, and he doesn't mean to say that to her. So she thinks that he really cares about her, but it's eventually revealed that he just wants to be friends, and that basically she gets over him pretty quickly. And I mean, I really liked his character, but he really was not for Kimmy. He was into video games, things like that, and I like that Kimmy realized that, you know what, he doesn't love me, then whatever. She goes off to this other guy, she goes off to this guy Logan, who Logan she meets at this party, and I really like Logan's character. You know, he becomes really interested in her, and he's really wealthy as well, but he really has a big interest in Kimmy. He finds her to be a very fascinating person, and just finds her story overall very fascinating. And I really liked his character too. I really liked the chemistry between her and Logan. I thought that was really well done. I definitely really enjoyed what they did there, and I just thought overall that was really good. But then Dawn is introduced, who Dawn is one of her classmates in GED, because she does go try to get a GED to go to pass the 8th grade, because she never got to pass the 8th grade, and basically she meets Dawn, who you can tell right away has a huge crush on her. She doesn't realize it, but eventually what ends up happening is that Logan and her do end up dating, but he tells her to, you know, basically say goodbye to Dawn. Well, she doesn't realize that he's trying to get Dawn deported. She breaks up with Logan, gets together with Dawn, and it seems like those two are going to get together until it's revealed, this is spoilers from the season finale, that Dawn actually married this older lady from the GED class in order for him not to get deported. And as sad as it is, I mean, you can understand why he did that. Definitely, I think Dawn and Kimmy, I think they're going to be like the big couple of season 2. We'll see if they do get together. I really like Dawn's character. I mean, yeah, he's really weird and things like that, but Kimmy really embraced it, and Kimmy let him embrace that weirdness. And Kimmy's just as weird as him, because, you know, she is really not up with the, you know, the culture and things like that. There's some really funny scenes of what they do with that. I'll talk about that, but that basically is the other thing that's going on with Kimmy. Now, the other thing I love that they did is the constant references to 90s things that Kimmy references. Of course, she is not in with the current time, so there's so many references to things that, you know, you wouldn't think she'd reference. She references Full House, she references Friends. There's a scene where she goes to where the fountain in Friends, it's so funny, and she wants to, like, recreate it. I love that, and I love when just her learning new things. Like, there's this great episode in episode 3 where she gets an iPhone, and it's such a funny joke. I mean, Xan's just messing with her, but she's never seen an iPhone before, and it's so funny, and I think they did a really good job with showing that. I definitely really enjoyed that, and I thought overall that was really well done. So that stuff was really funny. The humor was definitely in the show. It was always there, and that's something that was very consistent, was the humor. I always laughed during the show. The show was always very funny, and I always really enjoyed it. Let's talk about Titus's arc, because Titus's arc I really like this season. Titus basically is doing whatever he can to just get a successful job, and Kimmy tells him to try to, you know, do better with, you know, get better auditions and just try to make his comeback on Broadway. And he realizes that there's an audition for this Spider-Man musical, and he becomes really interested in it. But the problem is that he doesn't really know if he can play this kind of character before, because he's never played a straight man before. And one of the funniest episodes, one of the funniest things he does this season is he has to, the casting director actually wants him to, you know, pretend to be a straight man, see if he can actually play a straight man. We eventually realized that this was all bullshit, and that he was just doing this to see if Titus could do it, and he actually does a really good job with doing it, and I thought it was really funny what ended up happening with Titus. I definitely really enjoyed that. I thought that was really funny overall, and that was just great. I love that. And just seeing his arc with him trying to, you know, join Spider-Man, but he's so terrified of what's happening because he has to do all these crazy, flips and things like that, and he keeps thinking that he's gonna die because it's a Spider-Man musical, and it's just referencing how in Spider-Man everybody died. I thought that was really funny, and he does whatever opportunity he can to try to get some sort of a job or try to show his star talent in some way. I mean, there's this great episode where they go to a party, and he is just, like, being a lounge singer, and it's so funny, and just seeing him do that was great. And eventually, he does get a really good gig, but now we can get into the biggest plot of the season, which you have not seen the first season, especially the last 3 episodes, because this is what the last 3 episodes involve. Go watch the last 3 episodes, and then you can come back and listen to my thoughts. So, as we know, of course, Richard Wayne, Gary Wayne does come back, and the trial starts, and basically, I loved what they did here, because, I mean, most of the season was just, it was really funny, but it was just really just stupid stuff. It was just fun. But then when they brought this character back, I thought was great. Jon Hamm stole the show, I have to say. He just, I'm never going to be able to look at Jon Hamm the same way again. I'm sorry. Don Draper is a great character, but Jon Hamm, when he's done with Mad Men, he needs to do more roles like this. He is so funny in this role because we're so used to seeing him be such a serious person. And yeah, one of the things I love is that he's just like saying the most serious stuff. He's saying the most like ridiculous stuff ever in the most serious way, and it's really funny. But he just did a really good job, definitely. I thought his performance was great here. But basically, he is now back. He's trying to make himself look as innocent as possible, make it seem like he did not keep these girls in the bunker. And, oh, that's something else I really enjoy, is that each episode they showed how Kimmy was a caretaker to all the girls in the bunker. In fact, there's an episode where Cindy comes back, and basically she has this boyfriend, Brandon, who clearly is gay, but for whatever reason, she embraces his flamboyance, and they're still planning on getting married because he truly does love her, and even though Kimmy's not okay with it, basically, they do end up getting together, which I thought was really interesting when we saw that. And one of the funniest things there is seeing Titus be upset about his age. I thought that was really funny. But basically, this guy has now come back. The Reverend has now come back, and basically the whole trial has started. And seeing Tina Fey also in this show, I thought was great. I mean, the fact that Tina Fey produces this show was also great as well. But actually seeing her in the show as one of the attorneys, I thought was really, really funny. And basically, Titus knows what's going on. He's going to a local library, watches the trial unfold, and Kimmy does end up going back to Indiana to testify against the Reverend, and she wants to do whatever she can to find some kind of collateral to show that he is lying. And at first, there's nothing, because he's trying to make himself look extremely innocent, like he had no idea what was going on, but eventually they end up going back to the bunker, which I thought was awesome. Just seeing Cindy, Kimmy, what were their names? Cindy, Kim, I'm trying to find their names now. Cindy, Kimmy, sorry guys, I can't remember all their names. Cindy, Kimmy, Cindy, Kimmy, Gretchen, and Donna, just seeing them all back again, back to the bunker was awesome. And at first, we think that they're gonna, like Kimmy's just keeping them there. They don't realize why she's there. They eventually find this tape, and it's ridiculous. It's him auditioning for The Apprentice. He is doing something with karate, and it just seemed like they were trying to do the most ridiculous things with Jon Hamm, but it works so well because we're so not used to seeing Jon Hamm do this, and it works so well, and I thought it was definitely very funny the way they did that. But eventually we realized that this tape actually did have something on it. It had, basically, and what Titus does also, what Titus does, that Kimmy doesn't want celebrities following her around. She wants to be very private about this, and she doesn't want a lot of, celebrities and everything. She doesn't really want a lot of attention, so Titus takes the opportunity and basically stalls for Kimmy by giving this great performance, and they basically decide to do an interview with him, but he ends up epically failing by singing on national television on the news. He has no idea the cameras are rolling, and it is probably one of the funniest moments of the season. Just seeing his reaction and him flipping out over it, you feel really bad for the guy, but it's also really funny to see. They did a really good job with that, and I definitely really enjoyed that. Everything going on with Titus was definitely very funny, but basically, Kimmy does end up getting the Reverend, to basically confess that he had no idea. He actually did know that there was no apocalypse. He kept them there, he kidnapped them, and basically, we realized that he did, he knew exactly what he was doing. There was no apocalypse, and he knew that he was just keeping them there to keep them there, and he ends up getting, they end up winning the case, and I thought that was awesome that they won the case. I thought there was going to be a cliffhanger there, but there wasn't. I really want to see him come back, though. He's such a funny character, and such a ridiculous character, just at least in flashbacks. Bring him back, because he's so funny, and I can't wait to see what else they do with him. But then we realized that because of this video of Titus that has surfaced, there's this woman that comes back, and we realize that this is Titus's wife. So Titus's wife is now going to be back for season 2. I can't wait to see what they do with her. Titus has a lot of explaining to do. We need to find out a lot more background about Titus. I can't wait to see what they do there, and that's going to be really funny to see. So that's basically all I've say. Now, we're also going to talk about Jacqueline, because we do find out some stuff about Jacqueline, and we realize that Jacqueline's actually part of this Indian family, and they weren't supportive of her. She wanted to be an American, but they didn't want her to be an American. They didn't want her to, change cultures, but she was ashamed of being Indian. So that's why she changes her name to Jacqueline. She went under plastic surgery and things like that, but she eventually realizes that she should be, in the season finale, she realizes that she should be happy of her culture, and that she should be happy that she's Indian, and basically, she plans on going back to South Dakota. She tells Kimmy that she is coming back, but she plans on going back to South Dakota to basically start over her life, and a lot of it focuses on her divorce with this guy Julian, but now that she's divorced, I'm interested in seeing where they go with her next season. I mean, we know she's going back to South Dakota, maybe she's going to meet up with her parents, because we don't know if her parents are dead or not, so I'm interested in seeing what's actually going to happen there. So we'll see what ends up happening with Jacqueline, what they decide to do with her, because I think it's a lot of fun to see what they're going to do here, and I think it's really cool. Also, Carol Kane as Lillian just killed it so many times this season. She was so funny. Just the things that she got into, especially in the finale, the fact that neither of them could drive, I thought was really funny. Just everything she get into. A lot of the time, she is just there to make fun of Titus, and she also gives him really good advice, so she's also very motherly, which I like seeing. But she was so funny throughout the whole season, and I loved her character. She was so good. So overall, guys, I love the first season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I love what they did with the first season. There's a lot to talk about, though. Where do I think next season we're headed? Definitely, I think that next season is going to be a lot more of this serialized format, because it really worked well for the show. I like seeing it get into more of a serialized format, because while I love the fun stuff they were doing, I mean, there was some great stuff in the first, 10 episodes. There's this great gag in the 10th episode with this show called with this movie called Daddy's Boy That Failed. It's one of the funniest moments of the season. Robert Osborne makes an appearance. That's just the fact that they had Robert Osborne on from Turner Classic Movies to do just this one little scene was hilarious. I love it they actually did that. But getting into the more serialized format really made us care more about the characters. I'm interested in seeing where they go here. Titus has a lot of explaining to do with this woman. How is his wife back? How did he have a wife? I mean, we know he's gay, so was he not gay once? Is he now recently gay? I mean, I'm interested in seeing what's actually going to happen there. We'll see. Titus has a lot of explaining to do there. Let's talk about Jacqueline. Where do you think they're headed with Jacqueline? I don't know what they're going to do there. Xan. I'm thinking Xan is definitely going to be a lot more nicer to Kimmy, but she definitely needs to tell her friends, who she really is. She needs to show them who she is. She can't hide who she is, and we'll see what definitely ends up happening. You can definitely tell that Xan, I think she does truly care about Kimmy. I think she wants to make it seem like she hates Kimmy just so her friends, don't think that she cares about her nanny that babysits her. She doesn't want to think that, and now that Jacqueline's gone, I'm pretty sure that Xan's going to be living now with, maybe she'll live with Kimmy, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen there. I mean, we know she's back with we know that they're living with Julian, so maybe Xan's gone. I mean, I really hope that Xan does come back in season 2, because I really like what they did with her character. Let's talk about the Reverend. What are they going to bring the Reverend back? I hope they do. He's so funny. I can't wait to see where they go, what they do with his character next season. John Hamm did such a great job in this role. He's so funny in this role. I can't wait to see if they do bring him back next season. Cindy and Brandon. That wedding did not happen yet. So what's going to happen there? I hope that they do get married. We didn't see, that they, did they get married? I'm pretty sure they did not get married yet. No, basically they did not get married. And I thought that was interesting that that they did not get married yet. I'm interested in seeing where they go with that, because I really like that storyline overall, and I'm interested in seeing if they do end up getting married, because I think that could be really fun to see, but we'll see what ends up happening there. And basically, I think that's all we really need to talk about. Dawn, I don't know what's going to happen with Dawn. I mean, he needs to I hope him and Kimmy get together, but we'll see what happens there. But overall, guys, let me know what you thought of this first season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I have to say, this was a great first season, especially for a show that was supposed to be on NBC. I think the thing that worked with Netflix is that Netflix realized that they can make the show as long as they want, and they did that. I mean, some episodes are 27 minutes, some episodes are standard 22 minutes, but most of the episodes are not 22 minutes. Most of them are like 27, 26, and I really love that, because they realize that we don't need to make it like a standard, show. We don't need to make like a standard NBC show. We can do whatever we want with it, and we can have fun with it, and I definitely really enjoyed that. I think that Netflix had a lot of fun with this show, and I think that really is what made this show work so well, is the influence that Netflix put into it, and also the development Netflix put into it. The acting in the show was always great. You know, Ellie Kemper got so much funnier as the season went on. She was always funny, but she got funnier and funnier as it went on. Also, Titus, you know, the guy that plays Titus Burgess as Titus, had so many funny steal of the show moments. So he stole the show in so many scenes, and I can't wait to see where they go with him next season. Carol Kansas, that was hilarious. Jane Krakowski, I thought was really good as well. I mean, she really made us care about her character more in the 3rd episode, and I really enjoyed that. At first, I did not like the way, my only complaint with that is that I didn't like the way they handled that at first with her being Indian. I thought it was kind of stupid, but then we realized that she really does embrace her culture and that she's learned a lot from that. I think they really made it work in the season finale, and I think now I really do care about her character. As I said, Dylan Gilula was great as Xan. I hope they make her a main character in season 2. I'd honestly like to see her upgrade to main character. I think that'd be great. Make Dawn a main character as well. He's great. But let me know what you guys thought of the first season. That's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And also, the writing to the show was so sharp and so funny. Had so many great references, and I love that. And especially for a comedy. It's very rare for me to love a comedy, but honestly, this is one of the funniest shows on TV. It really is. It very quickly became one of my favorite shows on TV, and I can't wait to see where they go next season. And it definitely is probably one of Netflix's best shows, I have to say. But that's in my review of the first season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Let me know what you guys thought of this first season, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the original. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.